CEO Masayoshi Son also said that SoftBank has no plans to buy back shares for now. The absence of that, removing a line in the sand for SoftBank shares. That's the view of our next guest. Jefferies' Atul Goyal is Bloomberg's top-ranked analyst for SoftBank, joining us now. Atul, what's the thinking behind this? I mean, you were surprised, a lot of people were disappointed, and a lot of people also saying this kind of removes a floor for how much these shares could fall now.
Thanks for having me. Yes, based on the discussions we've had, we believed there would be a very high chance of a buyback. So what they have said is for now, they're not doing it. But in response to our questions on the call later on, it was stated that they actively are discussing the timing and sizing of these buybacks. At the same time, quite a few of our investors actually did not believe they were ready for buyback. They were questioning about the funding because SoftBank has been investing a lot of funds into Vision Fund 2 investments, their private equity investee companies. So it was not exactly clear. We did expect a buyback to be announced because as recently as May, they were buying back at about 10,000 yen per share. And now the stock is below 7,000. So it did make a lot of sense. But anyway, for now, it probably stays under pressure, but the buyback is not completely out of question. It might come back anytime.
The big reveal that we actually got was Masa intending to co-invest in Vision Fund 2, right? Do you have governance and conflict concerns here?
Well, earlier we did when he was investing in a separate fund called North Star, which was actively investing in US equities and derivatives and hedge funds. That was a very big concern because on the one hand, you're telling everybody that my company is more like a private equity fund and therefore you need to invest in a certain way. At the same time, you yourself are doing some kind of hedge fund trading on a daily basis. But when we look at this new structure where he would also be investing his own personal money, that to a certain extent is a good sign because he's investing in the same place or he's taking the risks directly where investors' money is in the stock, in the company and the stock. So where the company would be putting in funds, investors' fund into the Vision Fund 2 and the equities there, Masa would also be directly putting that money. So you could call some kind of conflict of interest, but we see this as a good sign that the management itself is willing to take risk with this money. Earlier, what they were doing was a serious issue for us, which we did highlight.
Any idea at this point how big of a hit they will take from the Chinese crackdown on tech?
Well, they have taken a fair bit of hit. The stock was about 8,000 yen, beginning of July, I think. It's now 6,800 yen. So it's down about 15%. A lot of China stocks, tech stocks are down 30, 40%. What they did say on the call is for now, maybe it could last a year or two, they would not be investing in China tech anymore incrementally. So they want to wait and see. So that was a big takeaway from the call yesterday, that somebody as big as SoftBank is actually kind of walking away from any new further investments through Vision Fund 1 or 2 in China. So they would continue to invest in other parts of Asia, Europe, US. US would remain the biggest place, but China is a big no-no for now.
Atul, and let me turn to the shortage of chips. We are now seeing the latest survey from Susquehanna saying that the chip delivery lead times are at about 20 weeks, more than 20 weeks, which is a gain of about 8 days from the previous month. From the companies that you cover, who are the biggest losers here?
The companies which are losing out an opportunity in terms of what they can manufacture. So car companies are the ones that are at the receiving end because they were the ones which were cutting back dramatically. I do cover, within SoftBank, we have ARM, which designs and licenses chip design. Sony also manufactures semiconductors and sensors. But the user of these semiconductors is pretty much usages everywhere, actually. But the biggest bottleneck is being created in the automotive industry. And to that extent, I would be a little worried about Panasonic and especially its exposure to Toyota, because Tesla is managing that supply crunch very, very well. But it's the rest of the auto industry which is kind of struggling right now.